Yali Nation, Yali Nation, Yali Nation, how are you doing today? I want to talk to you about the Mandela Washington Fellowship application. I know that very many of you are excited about it and you want to be a part of the program. I encourage you to apply. But there are a few things that you need to know just to think about, just in your preparation before you apply. So one thing that you must know is the Mandela Washington Fellowship is one of the most competitive application processes in the world, like literally, because all young Africans who believe that they have potential, that they're doing great things, apply for this program. And even those who don't get selected but are still doing amazing things, have applied for the program. So anyone who says, oh, me, I don't think about it, okay, it's because they applied and they weren't selected. But if you have been a young African leader and you want to be able to get into the network, you want to be able to, get the knowledge, be in one of the top universities in the US, meet, people from the US government, people from, US businesses, the public management, people in the public sector in the US, or people in the civil society running large nonprofits. This is an application that you don't want to miss. And now, when you think about the application process, this is what you always need to keep in mind. It's people who are going to read your application, right? So the application is not going to be read by a machine. Maybe in the future, there'll be a day where there'll be an AI algorithm that will just read the whole application and select if actually you're, a credible individual or not. But the application, when you write the application, when you fill in the first application, it's going to be read by individuals. And these people, when we were selected in 2014 during the inaugural, it was people who were, selected by IREX, selected by, the State Department. And these were people who didn't know actually who we were or they didn't know anything about the program. There was no, like the hype that is there right now didn't exist then. But from the year 2015 till now, former Mandela Washington Fellows were also eligible to be volunteers to read the applications. People who were from the universities, from the different universities in the US, were also now volunteers to read for the application. And so these people actually now understand the value of the program. So they're a little bit more diligent when they're reading the application. So the way you write your application actually really matters. So it means that those who actually have very good writing skills have a lot of advantage compared to those who, are not very good in telling their story. So that's one thing. It means that you have to write a very compelling story about yourself, because that's the thing. These people are going to read, thousands of applications, hundreds of applications, and you don't know if your application is going to be the first, it's going to be the 100th, it's going to be the last that they read. You really don't know. You don't know if they're going to read your application in the morning, if they're going to read it in the mid of the day or in the evening. You don't know. You don't know if they're going to read the application after they just, had a diarrhea or they got into a fight with someone or they, woke up and they were very happy. You don't know. So you can't leave that to chance. You have to write a very compelling application where every single question, you have to answer the question. A lot of people end up writing things that have nothing to do with the question. Answer the questions of your application because it's people who are reading them. So the first thing you have to know is people who are going to be reading your application, and those people already have a bit of understanding of what they're looking for in a great Mandela Washington Fellow, and so they're expecting really a high quality candidate. That's one. Second, read the application, read the questions, read the website, read the FAQs. There's a lot of people who apply for these things and just copy paste things from another application, just put it in and think that it's just gonna be, something that's just gonna go by. So you applied for maybe the Tony Elumelu Foundation Fellowship, or you applied for some MasterCard thing, and then you just go and copy paste answers from there back into this application. It's not gonna work. Right? If you don't have a track record of leadership, you don't have a track record of leadership. Don't apply for a program that expects you to be a leader already in your community. Don't apply. But the first work you need to do is to read the FAQs, read the Mandela Washington website, read every single line in that website so that you can understand what are the criteria that they're choosing to select. Because according to each and every one of those criteria, the people who are going to read your application, that's what they're going to judge you on. So the second thing that you have to do in order to succeed in this application process is read the frequently asked questions, read the application, read the questions, right? Third thing that you have to do is do a brief, like do a draft of your application separately, right? Answer the questions in a draft. So what you do is copy every question in the application form, put them in a Word document, right? A Google Doc, and then answer the questions there. Find a mentor, someone who has been through, the Mandela Washington Fellowship before in the past, or someone who can proofread what you've written so that they can see if there are any mistakes in error or in grammar or in vocabulary, because they expect you to already have passed that stage. They expect you to be a professional. Right? If you're an amateur, you cannot get into the Mandela Washington Fellowship. It's not done for people who are just starting off, thinking about what they're going to do in life. You already have to have a proven track record of leadership. If you have a proven track record of leadership in business and civil society or in public management, the least that is expected of you is that when you write an essay or you write something, that you proofread it. Right? That you proofread it, that you actually go through every single line and proofread it and see, okay, where are the errors that I've made in grammar, in the vocabulary. That's the third thing. You have to be able to do a draft application. Don't wait till the last minute to apply. Apply early, do your draft. Don't be overconfident and think it's just like any other application. Last minute, you just put in and you'll be selected. It doesn't work like that. There are amazing young leaders out there who have done amazing things that you can do, right? And who can tell their stories in ways you can't tell. And you are competing with each and every one of them, either from your country or from the continent, right? For the application. So take it seriously. The fourth thing that I would advise you to do is, if you've done the first three right, like one, you know that, okay, my application is going to be read by people, so I have to make sure that I write it very well, that it's very compelling and very inspiring, and that these people are hooked and say, okay, I want to know more about this person. Second, you have to make sure that you read every single line that is on the website and in the application process so that you can understand what they're expecting from you. Third, you have to be able to make a draft and prepare properly. Take this application seriously, write it down, reread it, have someone else reread it, give you advice, reread, then before you submit. And then once you've submitted, right, now you have to have faith, right? But this faith is backed by what? It's backed by your vision, right? Because once you do that correctly and you are pre-selected, now you get into the second phase of doing the interview at the embassy, right? Now, the interview at the embassy, they want to first know that you are actually the person who applied and that what you wrote is you. So they want to make sure that it's you. You're the one who applied, so you're the one who got pre-selected. We want to make sure that it's the same person. So we're going to ask you questions about your application. Second, we want to know your character. What type of person are you? Are you, someone who we ourselves want to, want to see, go for the program? Are you someone who we believe is going to portray the values of the United States of America very well in Africa? Are you someone who's going to promote democracy? Are you someone who's going to develop your community? Who are you? They want to know that through in the interview. So that's the last point that you need to keep in mind. In order to pass that interview, you have to be confident that with or without the Yali Mandela Washington Fellowship, you are going to accomplish your mission and your vision. That no matter the outcome of the selection process, no matter if you're selected or not, you're going to achieve that vision. And that's what got me selected. And it's the same advice I've given to everyone else. And I'm sure that's why they got selected. It's because I knew that I was going to be investing in young African leaders and promoting innovation with or without the Yali Mandela Washington Fellowship. I went in there, confident, knowing that, if I get selected, great, I'm going to be able to learn, I'm going to interact with so many people, I'm going to get all these. I didn't even know that my life would be transformed like it has because of the Mandela Washington Fellowship. But one thing I knew for a fact was that with or without that fellowship, with or without being a Mandela Washington Fellow, I was going to continue to go and innovate the continent of Africa. And so that's what you need to be able to show, is that with or without this program is great, you love it, you want to be a part of it, you've applied many times, but without it, I'm still going to pursue my vision. So I hope that's helpful for your application. And you keep share this information with others that you know who are applying, but go out there and do the best that you can. And if you're selected, let me know. If you have any other questions, put it in the comments there. I'll be happy to answer. I wish you all the best. Peace out.